Beneath the golden sun of the southern hemisphere lies a kingdom not built by crowns, but by vision. In South Africa, where the veins of the earth bleed diamonds and gold, and the winds still whisper stories of struggle and triumph, true power does not parade in headlines. It is quiet, strategic, immeasurable. This is not the tale of fleeting fame or overnight tech unicorns. This is the legacy of dynasties. Men and women who turned mines into metropolises, risk into reward, and hardship into heritage. Their thrones are carved from equity. Their names are rarely trending, yet they own the institutions that shape nations, influence global markets, and quietly redraw the architecture of modern power. From boardrooms that span continents to empires rooted in African soil, these are the architects of real wealth. Not loud, not showy, but commanding, unyielding, permanent. This is the definitive showdown of South Africa's 10 richest families, titans whose journeys read like epic novels, with every chapter steeped in ambition, adversity, and astonishing triumph. Welcome to the world behind the curtain. Before we continue, please support our work by liking the video and subscribing to the channel for valuable insights. 10. Allan Gray Family. In the mist-covered corridors of South Africa's financial elite, Allan Gray stands like a watchful sage. Reserved, elusive, and quietly influential, Gray built an empire not on flash but on foresight. He wasn't born with a golden spoon, but he forged one himself in the fires of persistence and brilliance. Born in East London, South Africa, Allan Gray studied at Harvard Business School before cutting his teeth at Fidelity in the United States. What he brought back to South Africa was not just financial knowledge, it was a new philosophy of investing, rooted in long-term thinking and value. In 1973, Gray founded Allan Gray Investment Management. It began modestly, managing just a few accounts. But over the decades, through turbulent political transitions and economic upheavals, Gray's firm became one of Africa's most respected asset managers. With a focus on integrity, research-driven strategy, and patience, Allan Gray Limited now manages billions in assets across the continent. But it doesn't stop there. In 1996, he launched Orbis Investment Management in Bermuda, a global investment firm that skyrocketed to success. Between the two, Gray built a fortune worth $1.2 billion. He passed in 2019, but his legacy thrives in his businesses and the philanthropic Alan and Jill Gray Foundation, to which he committed most of his wealth. Gray didn't seek headlines, he sought impact. His empire is a quiet citadel of discipline and foresight, a fortress not of stone, but of principle. 9. Stephen Sard Family. Where others saw a volatile healthcare sector, Stephen Sard saw a kingdom. With little more than a pharmacist's wisdom and an entrepreneur's grit, he built Aspen Pharmacare, Africa's largest pharmaceutical company. Born in Durban, South Africa, Stephen Sard was never destined to inherit wealth. He was born to build it. After earning his Bachelor of Commerce degree, he started working in pharmaceuticals and quickly identified inefficiencies and untapped markets in the industry. In 1997, Sard co-founded Aspen Pharmacare. The timing was prescient. As South Africa grappled with public health crises, Aspen emerged as a key supplier of essential, affordable medications. From antiretrovirals to oncology drugs, the company met needs others ignored. Sard leveraged partnerships across Europe, Asia, and Latin America, building an international pharmaceutical web. Today, Aspen Pharmacare operates in over 50 countries. Its rise catapulted Stephen Sard into the billionaire ranks with an estimated net worth of $1.25 billion. His empire spans continents, with factories and labs humming from Johannesburg to Dublin. Yet, Sard remains grounded. A rugby fan and philanthropist, he invests in education and public health across the continent. His story is a testament to innovation born not from privilege, but from insight and relentless drive. He saw illness and built healing. He saw opportunity and created legacy. 8. Janney Moton Family. In the world of investment, Janney Moton is known as the Boere Buffett, a nod to Warren Buffett and a tribute to his Afrikaner roots. His story is one of betrayal, reinvention, and eventual triumph. Once a partner at a top financial firm, Moton was unceremoniously fired in the 1990s. For most, that would be the end of the road. For Moton, it was the genesis of greatness. At 48, with nothing but experience and audacity, he founded PSG Group. What followed was a masterclass in entrepreneurial resurrection. Moton focused on early-stage investments in financial services, agriculture, education, and telecoms. His bets, Capitec Bank, Kuro Holdings, and Zeda Investments, each a multi-billion rand powerhouse today. With sharp instincts and unshakable conviction, Moton built PSG into a financial juggernaut. His net worth, $1.6 billion. But beyond wealth, Moton cultivated something rarer: redemption. From a small town in the Western Cape to the top floors of South African finance, his story defies ageism, failure, and expectation. His boardroom battles are legendary, but his loyalty to family, including his son, Piet, now PSG's CEO, remains his anchor. Janney Moton's empire is proof that success doesn't expire. It simply waits for the bold. 7. Christophel Visa family. Christophel Visa knows both the thrill of empire building and the sting of collapse. He is South Africa's retail king, a man who turned corner shops into castles and shopping aisles into gold mines. Visa began in law but was soon drawn to business. He acquired Pep stores in the 1960s, transforming it into a retail juggernaut known as Pepkor. His strategy was simple but brilliant: affordable fashion for the masses. By understanding South Africa's growing consumer base, he turned Pep into a national staple. But Visa wasn't done. In 2014, he merged Pepkor with Steinhoff International, aiming to create one of the world's largest furniture and retail conglomerates. For a moment, he was on top of the world, his fortune soaring past $6 billion. Then came the fall. In 2017, a scandal at Steinhoff wiped out billions. Visa lost more than half his wealth overnight. Yet, even in the ashes, he remained standing, with a net worth of $1.6 billion and a portfolio still filled with diamonds in the rough. He owns major stakes in Shoprite, Africa's largest supermarket chain, and other assets spread across property, fashion, and wine. He may no longer be the undisputed king, but his throne still stands. Visa embodies resilience, and his story reminds us that even shattered empires can rise again. 6. Laru family. Banking in South Africa was once the domain of suits, exclusivity, and tradition, until Laru walked in with a plan to shatter the status quo. A maverick banker, Laru founded Capitec Bank in 2001, defying skeptics who believed the market was already saturated. But Laru saw what they didn't: a growing middle class, hungry for accessible, low-cost financial services. He introduced a streamlined, tech-driven banking model that prioritized simplicity and transparency. The result? A revolution. Today, Capitec serves over 20 million customers and is one of the most valuable banks in Africa. Laru, who once preferred staying behind the scenes, now commands a net worth of $2.6 billion. Despite his immense success, Laru is famously humble. He doesn't chase headlines or luxury. His leadership style is pragmatic, his philosophy grounded in service. Yet the scale of his impact is immense, redefining how South Africans bank, save, and dream. From rural branches to digital banking apps, Capitec is Laru's empire, and it's still growing. His wealth is not just in billions, but in the millions of lives transformed by his vision. 5. Kos Becka family. In the swirling universe of content, culture, and commerce, one man in South Africa has wielded media not just as a tool, but as a spell. Kos Becka, the quiet genius behind the international media powerhouse Naspers, has turned South African storytelling into a global force, and in the process, rewritten the blueprint for generational wealth in the digital age. With an estimated net worth of $3.2 billion, Becka's empire is not measured in concrete towers, but in digital bandwidth, subscription models, and content pipelines that feed hundreds of millions across continents. Born in Potchefstroom and educated both in South Africa and at Columbia University in New York, Becka's journey is the perfect blend of local roots and global vision. He transformed Naspers, once a print-focused Afrikaans publishing company, into a tech giant by investing early in Tencent, the Chinese internet behemoth. That single move, often described as one of the greatest investment decisions in corporate history, earned Naspers a stake worth tens of billions of dollars. Becka is an unconventional billionaire. He famously refuses a salary, preferring to earn through stock options tied to performance. He's semi-reclusive, choosing privacy over the limelight, and yet his influence saturates the global media space, from e-commerce to fintech, from online classifieds to pay TV. At home, Becka owns a breathtaking Cape Dutch-style wine estate in the Franschhoek Valley. But his truest asset is time, his uncanny ability to spot trends ahead of the curve, to move before the market, and to gamble where others hesitate. While many billionaires build vertically, Becka expands laterally into mines, screens, and digital ecosystems that transcend borders. He is not just a titan of tech. He is the man who made media move mountains. 4. Patrice Mutzeppe family. There is something poetic about Patrice Mutzeppe's ascent. Born during apartheid, rising through walls built to cage him, and then quietly building empires of his own that now span the goldfields of South Africa and the boardrooms of the world. With an estimated net worth of $3.2 billion, Mutzeppe is the first black African billionaire in South African history, a symbol of transformation, resilience, and visionary capitalism. His fortune began with mining. In 1997, Mutzeppe founded African Rainbow Minerals, ARM, a company that swiftly acquired undervalued mining assets during the post-apartheid era. What others saw as risk, he saw as opportunity. His Midas touch turned forgotten shafts into gold mines, both literally and financially. But Mutzeppe's reach doesn't end underground. He's the founder of Ubuntu Botho Investments, a broad-based black empowerment group with a major stake in Sanlam, one of South Africa's biggest financial services firms. He's also the owner of Mamelodi Sundowns, a Premier League soccer club that he's turned into a continental powerhouse. Away from boardrooms, Mutzeppe exudes calm dignity. His philanthropic arm, the Mutzeppe Foundation, is one of Africa's largest, tackling education, health, and poverty alleviation. He's also a signatory of the Giving Pledge, vowing to donate more than half of his wealth to social causes. Yet, what makes Mutzeppe truly compelling is his duality: a capitalist with a conscience, a mogul with modesty, a black billionaire who broke through centuries of exclusion, not with defiance, but with excellence. His legacy is not just gold, it's hope, structured into shareholding, strategy, and social upliftment. Mutzeppe is not just rich, he is rooted, and that is wealth of a different kind.
3. Ivan Glazenberg family.
If ever there was a man who understood the pulse of the earth, its ores, its oils, its volatile whispers, it's Ivan Glazenberg. With a staggering estimated net worth of $9.5 billion, the former CEO of Glencore sits atop a global empire that traffics in the raw ingredients of civilization. Copper, coal, cobalt, and oil. If it fuels the world, Glazenberg's fingerprints are on it. Born in South Africa to a Jewish family, Glazenberg studied finance and accounting before pursuing an MBA, but it was not numbers alone that made him a titan, it was instinct. He joined Glencore in the 1980s, then a modest trading firm, and rose through the ranks with relentless determination. By 2002, he was CEO. Under his leadership, Glencore became one of the world's largest commodity traders and producers, with operations in over 35 countries. Glazenberg is known for his competitive spirit. He's a former national racewalking champion, and his cutthroat business acumen. He transformed Glencore into a publicly traded company in 2011, instantly becoming a billionaire. But even after stepping down as CEO, he remains a shadow power within the firm and the broader commodities world. He lives in relative obscurity, avoiding flashy displays of wealth, yet his influence is monumental. He's a key figure in the delicate dance of global supply chains, political leverage, and raw material economics. When Glazenberg moves, markets tremble. In the pantheon of global billionaires, Glazenberg is the miner king, the unseen orchestrator of energy and extraction. His wealth is not in glamour, it's in gravity. He owns the invisible arteries that power nations. 2. Nikki Oppenheimer family. In a world where luxury sparkles and legacies endure, few names gleam with the same clarity and permanence as Nikki Oppenheimer. As the heir to the De Beers fortune, Oppenheimer represents more than personal wealth. He is the guardian of a dynasty that once controlled over 80% of the global diamond trade. With an estimated net worth of $11 billion, he is one of Africa's wealthiest individuals and a global symbol of discreet opulence. Born into the illustrious Oppenheimer lineage, Nikki was educated at Harrow and Oxford. He entered the family business not as a figurehead, but as a steward, eventually becoming chairman of De Beers and deputy chairman of Anglo-American. Under his watch, the company evolved from colonial legacy to modern mining powerhouse before he sold the family's 40% stake to Anglo-American in 2012 for $5.1 billion. Oppenheimer is no idle inheritor. He has reinvested his fortune through Stockdale Street and Fireblade Aviation, with interests spanning conservation, private equity, and logistics. His family owns vast tracts of land in South Africa and Zimbabwe, not for real estate speculation, but for ecological preservation. What sets him apart is restraint. While his peers compete for headlines, Oppenheimer values silence. His philanthropy, particularly in land conservation and education, is vast yet understated. His Tswalu Kalahari Reserve is the largest private game reserve in South Africa, a sanctuary where nature, not net worth, is the focus. He is the diamond of dynasties, not forged overnight, but formed over generations, shaped under pressure and polished with care.
1. Johan Roupert family.
At the pinnacle of South Africa's wealth pyramid sits a man whose silence speaks volumes. Johan Roupert, with an estimated net worth of $16.5 billion, is not just South Africa's richest man, he is its most enigmatic. As the chairman of Richest, the Swiss luxury goods conglomerate behind brands like Cartier, Montblanc, and Dunhill, Roupert reigns over a kingdom where time is measured not in seconds, but in heritage. Born in Stellenbosch to the legendary Anton Roupert, Johan inherited more than a business. He inherited a philosophy: quality over noise, legacy over limelight. After founding Richest in the late 1980s, Roupert steered it into the upper echelons of global luxury. Today, Richest rivals LVMH, commanding a clientele of kings, celebrities, and tastemakers. But Roupert's empire extends far beyond cufflinks and Swiss watches. He chairs Remgro, an investment holding company with interests in banking, healthcare, media, and energy. He also co-founded Reinet Investments, a Luxembourg-based vehicle with a diverse portfolio. Despite his immense wealth, Roupert shuns public adulation. He prefers fly fishing to flashbulbs, and his retreat in the Cape Winelands is more sanctuary than spectacle. Yet behind that quiet facade lies a shrewd strategist, one who speaks rarely, but when he does, financial markets and political halls listen. His critics call him aloof, his admirers call him brilliant, but all agree, Johan Roupert is not merely a billionaire. He is a monarch of modern capitalism, ruling not by decree but by discretion. And in a noisy world, that kind of power is priceless. The families covered here are not merely South Africa's richest, they are its architects of influence, its lords of legacy. And while their names may change with time, their empires, like the minerals buried beneath the soil, will endure. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like the video, share and subscribe to the channel for more valuable insight.